Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, folks. How are you doing? It's Danny Tisdale, and you know what's great is that this is the second show of the new year, and it's January, so I'm still giving shout-outs and sending out love to everyone on this new year. And believe it or not, turn around twice, blink your eyes, and January is already a blur as I look over my shoulder. Today is January 30th. Tomorrow is the 31st. Wow, it goes by so fast. With that, I'm sure you have your New Year's resolutions and all the other things that come with that. And we'll talk about that a little bit today and maybe a lot. But we know it's 33 sunny degrees outside, so stay inside, get your tea, listen to this conversation, and we may talk about your own health and wellness issues and concerns that you have. Don't forget to check us out at harlemworldmag.com, which is where you'll be able to also access this conversation if it's not on iTunes or on our Blog Talk radio station. Also check us out at twitter.com/HWMag and our two, not one, but our two Facebook pages. One is the one that I host, which is HWMag Facebook. And, of course, as I always say, and which always seems to be the case, is our fastest-growing Harlem history page on Facebook, where we post all images that document and talk about the history of Harlem. All that aside, what's great is talking to people who are doing great work and talking about, the healthy work that they do for people who are looking for wellness in their life. And we really have three great women who are here with us today to kind of kick off the year at the end of the month in January and talk about health and wellness. And these specialists will talk about that, whether it's health in the body, health of your business, or however you might want to mention it. First on our list is CeCe Minton. CeCe Minton is an author, award-winning healthy lifestyle advocate and brand ambassador and social entrepreneur who grew up on both the coasts. Her experience includes project chair for Junior League Health and Nutrition Initiative, serving as panelist with Jack and Jill of America Foundation. She was named Advocate of the Month by Let's Move / President's Challenge for Health of all Americans across the United States. She's also done work with the Boys Club of America. She has a book, Daddy's Greek Potato Pie, which I love, but we'll talk about that some other time. She was also part of the official NY / New Jersey Super Bowl VIP tailgate party, and she's been awarded the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition and 2014 Community Leadership Award. She's done a lot, and she, on top of that, is a Harlem World Magazine Senior Health and Wellness Contributor. We also have Dr. Christine Thorpe, and she's a certified wellness coach and health education specialist with over 15 years' experience. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from Syracuse University. Hey, Syracuse! A doctorate in health education and Master's of Education degree in international educational development from Teachers College in, of course, Columbia University, which is right down the street here in Harlem. She is a member of the American Public Health Association, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, and Mocha Moms. As a professor and researcher, Dr. Thorpe interests include women's health and wellness, health disparities, holistic nutrition, patient navigation, motivational interviewing, and health literacy. And she's also the creator of Spring Pilot, which is a fitness challenge for a cause site, and we'll talk about that more. Last but not least is Jennifer Jones, who is a public relations and communications specialist, effectively utilizing her expertise in long-term relationships and work ethic to provide top talent, corporations, publishing firms, and nonprofit organizations with unparalleled mainstream and urban access, influence, and positioning. Her story is one of dedication and determination. Ms. Jones she has worked with Prince, P. Diddy, Chris Rock, Monique, Cicely Tyson, of course from Harlem, Nashaka Shenge, to name a few, and many, many, many more corporations that are doing great work in and out of Harlem and around the world. And I know I am leaving out some information. I've tried to talk about the best of the work that they've done, and each one of these incredible women wear multiple hats, as you already know, but even more multiple hats as wives and mothers. All props to them, and thank you, ladies, for being on the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
And if you could give me a second, I'm going to go get some oxygen because these bios, I thought I had edited them, but they are long, and I tried to do justice to all the work that you've done. And I just want to give you your props for the work that you've done and, of course, for being here. And I don't want to hesitate for 1 second. I know that each year thousands of Harlemites, wherever they may be, even folks who aren't Harlemites and wherever they may be around the world, they start the new year with health and wellness resolutions. Do you think that those resolutions work, CC, or is there some other advice you would throw into the mix, when you talk about health and wellness and, whether it's your body or your business? What do you think? What's your advice in that situation?
Well, I think that resolutions can work, but basically you have to work them. And when I say that,
nice.
I mean that there takes commitment, and I would say a vision for yourself as well. If it's that you want to lower your blood pressure or you want to look better in your clothes, you have to envision that. And so that in terms of the New Year's resolutions, that is what's important. That's what's key to take you from the month of January all through the year.
Interesting. I like that because as an artist, we visualize everything first before, we create it. So I hear you talking about that same kind of visualization. Dr. Thorpe, Ms. Jones, any response? Or any advice on top of that?
Yes, I agree with what Cece said, but the focus I want to bring forth is the wellness and the health and the resolutions made by not-for-profit organizations. That being, there's so many, and I'm talking on a smaller scale, community-based not-for-profit organizations. I tell you, it just pains me to see what they are going through, meaning no financial sustainability. Therefore, they can't fulfill their mission to provide the service that they want to provide. But you can fix that. So that's what I'd like to talk about today.
So for you, whether it's the individual or whether it's the nonprofit or the organization or the company, it's still about thinking holistically and strategically planning out what you're going to do, whether it's your body or your business.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Well, this
I'm
is
sorry.
Dr. Thorpe. If I could jump in. Thank you, Daniel.
Please.
In tying in with both of these women and their comments, which have been, on point, it's the collaborative efforts that need to take place in order for goals and resolutions to really take hold. Whether you're talking on an individual and local level with individuals and communities or talking in an organizational setting, it has to be collaborative and a shared vision that will help propel you toward achieving what you've set out to do with these resolutions.
Interesting. Of course, as we talked before, I told you there would probably be some, the questions would evolve and might be the same, might be different. I'm just preparing you that I've got one for you that's not on our hit list. So let's say if I reached out to you at the end of the year of 2015, and I said to you, each one of you, I want to do this with my body, I want to do this with my business, I want to do this, so that mind, body, and soul, and my board and my team are all on the same page. Cece, what kind of advice would you give someone to start out the year as we're kind of doing here in 2016? Is there kind of solid advice that you give, or much of what you just intimated?
I'll be really quick. I would say, along with the commitment, I think that you should have a backup plan. When I worked in a gym, we would always have women who would come in during the new year, and they would sign up, and then after the first 4 weeks, we wouldn't see them anymore. And I would say that maybe like a third of the women who did that. So I would say have a backup plan. If you fall off the wagon, have another wagon that you can jump onto that's doable, so that you can still fulfill your vision for the year.
So you have plan A, make sure you have a plan B?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. And this is Jennifer. I'd like to add, preparation and planning is key. So you have to prep, and you have to plan, and you have to move forward. And yes, if you fall off the wagon, try to get back on. And to speak to what Dr. Thorpe said, a collaborative effort. Try to surround yourself with like-minded people. That the gym is important. Eating well is important. If you want to eat well, and then you're hanging out with a bunch of people that want to hang out at McDonald's, that's not going to work.
Absolutely.
So
this is Dr. Thorpe.
I may have to do something about my
that.
pancake parties then, right?
Maybe so. Make them wheat pancakes. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, Dr. Thorpe. I think you were saying something.
I said absolutely. I agree with that. It's the setting the goals where you want to see yourself in like 3 months, setting your weekly goals, and yes, absolutely the backup plan and the support system when you fall off, because it's a reality. No one is perfect. And when you recognize that it's a journey that you're on and not a sprint, you take pressure off of yourself in trying to make everything right the first time around. And theoretically, there's enough evidence that backs up the fact that we go through cycles of change that include the falling off. And if we incorporate that as it's a possibility, it won't be as much of a shock when it happens. It's more so planning for that to happen and having a way to get around those stumbling blocks on this journey.
Well, that's a good point, because at least not so much plan as if it actually happens, but if it does actually happen, you're just prepared for it. I guess you're saying is that if you know if you might fall off the horse, make sure you know how to get back in by putting your foot on the stirrup and swinging yourself over, I guess, in a way.
Exactly.
And
Jennifer, and I like to add, evaluation is key. You have to evaluate so you know how to shift, you'll know how to change. Because if something's not working, why would you continue in that path?
So I'm doing the sit-ups. I've stopped going through my pancake parties as much as I want to, and I still have the stomach. It's time for me to reflect on what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong, Danny.
It's a hypothetical, okay? So I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But what I also hear you saying, Ms. Jones, is that applies both to your body. That also applies to almost whatever you do in life, and obviously your nonprofit business or your for-profit business is to look at what you're doing holistically and focus on producing quality. And maybe if you do that, there might be fewer things you're doing, but the things you're doing, you're probably doing better. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty
in
much.
A way?
Let me just throw this out at you.
Okay.
But not for profits. Last year, over $400 billion was given to charity. And out of that $400 billion, 72% of that came from individuals. So if you're at the head of a not-for-profit, you're on the board at a not-for-profit, wouldn't you try to reevaluate a little bit if you're just chasing grants?
Right.
Your focus might need to be on individuals and instituting a individual giving program, I would think. So that's what I mean by evaluation, readjust, and do what works.
And you, as I mentioned to you, we are going to do a quick station ID and let our listeners know they're listening to Harlem World Radio Podcast and they're listening to the Danny Tisdale Show. That's me. And, of course, you can hit us up at harlemworldmag.com, at Twitter.com/HWMag, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/HWMag. And, of course, we've hit that halfway point, and we are talking about health and wellness, whether it's in your business life, your private life. It's about the person you're looking at in the mirror. It's about bringing quality into your life. That may include some of the people you know, the food you're eating, whatever it may be. CC, all of you are incredibly driven women, and I can hear that you have a nice balance with the way that you're driven because you're able to laugh and, enjoy this life that you have as you work at it as hard as you do. What has been the key, CC, to finding that balance or having that balance? Or am I completely wrong and you're still trying to find that balance?
I was out of balance for quite a while, and when you get tired of being out of balance, you figure out how to get in balance if you want to survive.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm out of balance. This week has been a really busy week for me, but I had to step back. I couldn't be in overload for too long because it just wasn't working. So it's always a challenge, especially when you're busy and you're driven and you have goals. But always remember that you're in control of what you do and what you don't do.
Hello?
Yes?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear us? Daniel, can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us. Dr. Thorpe.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened, but we're back on track. Technology having its ups and downs. And I know, Cece, you were talking about adjusting yourself and making adjustments. Sorry about that technology problem.
That's okay.
Okay, was there anyone that wanted to kind of add to what Cece was saying, or your own flip on or spin on this idea of,
balance,
reflection and balance, right?
Well, this is Dr. Thorpe. I think balance is something that every day you have to figure out what balance means for you. If your schedule is constantly busy and changing, you have to figure out what would get you to a place of comfort where you're not feeling overstressed and stretched out. And when you do, what you need to do to recenter yourself, and how do you make that a priority? I know for me, I have certain days of the week where my schedule is extremely intense, but I also know that there are certain points that I put on my calendar for me to use a particular time period, a 45 minutes or an hour, that brings me back to where I need to be so I can focus, I can function, and I feel good about myself and my day. In turn, I'm able to do better with those around me and my responsibilities around me.
Very, very, poignant points. And, I'm going to go there, being the only guy in the mix here. And knowing that each one of you are married and your moms, is there, from your perspective, what what do you think guys here I go can work on that from your perspective? Because I'm always amazed at the women who are in my life, either as friends or on the business side or in general, and you guys always seem to have it together. Not so much for my male friends. What do you think we can learn from you as in 2016 in January, as we have the rest of the year ahead of us? I know. Oh, all of you don't jump in, okay?
No, that's a whole other conversation, Danny.
Okay.
That's a loaded question.
It's very loaded.
Okay. Do you want me to just go on to the next one?
Yes.
I'm just going to go on to the next question.
Daniel, I can tell you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cece.
This is Cece. Women have a seventh sense, so let us make all the decisions.
You know what? I'm going to add to that, Cece. For instance, my husband, I like 1 + 1 = 2, and that works for me. But my husband, 1 + 1 can equal 37, and he doesn't care, and everything seems to work out for him, but it makes me crazy in the process.
Yeah.
I hear you. I agree.
What is that?
No, it's funny because I've my sister and my mother used to always tell me, Danny, just say yes. Even though you may have a different spin on it, or you may feel differently, but the goal is to have success in your relationship and have success in your life. And if you kind of are able to find a way to say yes and leave the things that you disagree about secondary, life might be easier. And I have to tell you, that was some of the best advice in my life, because that's how I approach it. I say yes, and I agree with what we're talking about, and then at another point I bring up something that we may not disagree with, and I think that could work in I think it works for me privately and in my public life also. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I just wanted to spin off of the fact of finding agreement and finding the synergy and moving forward, whether it's in my private life or public life. Dr. Thorpe, did you want to add to that? I don't know if you had said anything.
Please, Dr. Thorpe.
Or did you want to go there or not?
I'll go there. Respect the fact that we as women are filled with a lot of responsibility in terms of taking care of ourselves and our families, and there is a heightened expectation, and that recognition of that is very important. I appreciate when my husband says, I see what you're doing, I recognize it, and you're doing wonderful things, and just that acknowledgement helps me to see that he sees it, and he knows not to take that for granted, because he knows he can't do what I do and do it as well as I do. He has his place and what he can do, and respect me for my strengths and what I bring to the table.
No, I definitely hear you, and I thought that was well said, because what made me ask the question is I hear women say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and and I'm married, and so there's always a little laughter as if, that's an additional job. But you don't hear that when guys are talking. It's not like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I have to take care of my wife. It's usually I'm doing this and doing that, and then I have to take care of my husband. There's a laughter, because everybody knows that that's an additional job for, you as a partner, And I just want to, speak to that. We're at the 5-minute mark, and I have about 15 or 16 more questions, and I'll try to dwindle it down to 2. We have listeners all over the place, and some of them are listening to you, and they want to do what you're doing and the way that you're doing it. Cece, what tips would you, or should I say, because of time, what tip would you give someone listening who wants to bring, wellness and health to their life or their business or what they do?
I would say have a strong enough why of why you're doing it. Because if you identify your why in the beginning, and even if you get off track, if you go back to your why, that can actually, put you back on the path to your journey.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Thorpe.
This is Dr. Thorpe. I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would say you need to know your motivation. You've got to figure out what is it that's driving you, that on those days when you think you can't do it, but there's something underneath that's keeping you going. Like, I'm tired, I don't really want to get up and do this today, but I know I want to stay healthy for my family because they need me. Or I received a report from my physician that's not favorable. I know I need this to stay alive. And you've got to figure out what it is that will keep you focused, what will drive you, and the value you see in that. When you find the thing that you value the most for your motivation, that's what will be your go-to.
Very nice. Ms. Jones?
I love that. I just want to say to the not-for-profit, I just would like to say to the not-for-profits, financial stability is everything. Without it, you're not able to fulfill your mission or your vision. So I just encourage you to evaluate your not-for-profit organization. You're there to do good for the people. So let's start doing better with our organization so you don't have to worry about the doors closing and not providing that service.
Most definitely. We are at the 3-minute mark, and I most definitely, before we get off the line, is for each of you to either your URL or whatever you want to share with our listeners so that they can stay in touch with you and find out what more you're doing and where you're doing it. Cece, can you share either email or your website so that our listeners can stay in touch with you?
Sure. My website is ccminton.com, and my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram are ccminton. That's 2 C's, Minton.
Thank you. Dr. Thorpe or Ms. Jones?
Okay. Hi, Dr. Thorpe here. So please check out our website, springpilot.com. We are doing get a weight loss for a cause challenge. We're also Spring Pilot on Facebook, Spring Pilot on Twitter, and each day new information is provided for us to keep in mind how to stay fit and healthy and make that a priority in our lives. And that's springpilot.com.
Ms. Jones?
Hi. I'd like people to visit 518pr.com. You can read all about what it is I do, or you can email me at jennifer@518pr.com.
Thank you so much, and I really have to make some phone calls, I guess, about my pancake parties that sounds like there'll be fewer of them. And I'm going to have to say goodbye to my little buddy, Tummy here, and work on that. And also, I'm not joking about that, and I'm not joking about the fact that I will look very seriously at the loss of weight that Harlem World Magazine probably needs, and to find out how better how we can improve the quality in the work that we do as we do the same thing in our personal life. And I want to thank each one of you for being on the show, and I really look forward to speaking to you sometime in the future. Thank you for helping us kick off 2016.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I'm not joking. I'm going to be reaching back to you, so don't,
Sounds good.
cover my number up when I call or my email, ladies. I'm just joking again.
We'll just ignore the call.
I know. See, that's why I said that. No. Have a fantastic 2016. I'll look forward to working with you, talking to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I've switched a lot of things in my life, but it's never worked out. I switched to being a vegetarian, but ate more bacon than ever. Every time I switch lines at the grocery store, I never pick the fast one. But one thing that totally worked out is I switched to Metro PCS and got a free Samsung Galaxy.
Make the right switch, too. Move to Metro PCS and get a free Samsung Galaxy J7 with a huge 5.5-inch screen. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
Spring. It's finally here. Time to clean things up and get back on target. Cabela's Spring Great Outdoor Days. Family events, amazing deals. Your one stop before the range. Save over 20% on PMC 223 rifle ammo. Get $40 off Federal 5.56 bulk ammo. And $75 off Smith & Wesson M&P Shield pistols. Plus, find more great deals on over 20,000 items throughout the store. Don't miss out. Shop in-store or online at Cabela's.com.